Hey guys, it's Marissa and today I have such an exciting fun video. So we are going to be doing Cakeless Foundation, how to avoid cakey foundation, how to minimize texture and pores, basically all my tips on how to get smooth cakeless foundation with no texture. I honestly did a video like this about 2 years ago, but this one has all updated tips and everything. So if you've seen that one or if you want to look at that one, I will have it linked down below for you guys. But this one has a lot of updated tips in it. Also, if you guys are new here, my name's Marissa. I do a new video every single Thursday, and I'm also on TikTok and Instagram a lot, so I will have those two right here, so you guys can go follow me there. I'll have the rest of my social media links down below too. And yeah, just make sure you guys are subscribed, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and make sure you guys leave me a comment, and we're just gonna get right into it. So I told you guys that I was going to be kind of repeating some of the same things. I'm gonna make it known what I'm repeating and what is like brand new brand new tricks. It's going to be repeated in every video you ever watch ever about your foundation, because it is the most important, and that is your prepping and your skincare. Two most important things. I don't care if you spent $1,000 on the best foundation in the world. If your skincare is not good, it is not going to look good. And that's just, makeup cannot cover up actual texture. Get that through your brain. Definitely finding the best skincare routine for you. That's meaning that you exfoliate when your skin needs exfoliated, whether that's chemical exfoliants, or I don't really recommend scrubs, but if you want to use a scrub, or dermaplaning, or facials, whatever it is, make sure your skin is getting the proper exfoliating that it needs to get all the dead skin off. I'd say like once a week. Dermaplaning is like a once a month thing, but like a chemical exfoliant you should be using once a week. That's number one. Make sure you're exfoliating. Make sure your skincare routine is matched to your specific skin needs. I know we see all these things on TikTok or on YouTube or whatever it is, or your favorite person, and you're like, I want that skincare product because they swear by it. Like, oh, look at me come. But to be honest, it doesn't matter. Like, if something works for somebody, it does not mean that it's going to work for you and be the best product for you. So I will kind of give you guys a rundown of my skincare routine. Also, if you want a full skincare routine on what I do, then let me know. But I'll be honest with you guys, I have like acne prone. You can kind of see I'm breaking out down here, so it'll be a good representation of what that looks like to cover up too. Yeah, I have like, I break out, but I'm also super dry, and like fatigued skin basically would be my skin type. I'm super dry, I have fatigued skin, and it also breaks out quite often. So that's for me. Somebody that has super oily skin, products that I use they probably would hate. So yeah, make sure my biggest tip is to double cleanse, exfoliate once a week, and make sure you're using the right moisturizer and primer for your skin. This is going to set you up for success basically. So I'll show you how I prepped today, because this has changed obviously since the last video I've done like this. This changes often for me. So I use a vitamin C serum every morning. This one's from The Ordinary. I have no idea how you say it, so I think it's ascorbic acid, 8%. Basically that's a vitamin C. So I use that every day, any vitamin C, and then moisturizer. This moisturizer I don't love, but it's what I have right now. It's from Origins. It's the Mega-Mushrrom Relief and Reailience. So I use that moisturizer, and then this I freaking love. This is gonna be my freaking baby all summer. You should be using a sunscreen. This product I love because it's your sunscreen and primer all in one, so you're not gonna forget it. But I love this. It's tinted a little bit, which I like too, because when I'm not wearing any makeup, I just kind of throw this on. It gives me a little bit of something for the day. But this is the Cotz Face Prime and Protect. It is SPF 40, it's tinted, and it's a matte sunscreen. This I love. It has the same consistency as like a silicone based primer, like Professional or something like that, or the Smashbox original one has the same consistency as that, so it kind of fills in all my pores and smooths everything while also keeping me protected from the sun, because that is another thing. That is how you get the fatigued skin that I told you that I have, because I have sun damage from forever ago. Anyway, okay, so we prep and prime with that. I recommend prepping and priming a good at minimum 10 to 15 minutes before you do your makeup. This has been on here for probably 30 minutes because I did my hair first. Sometimes I don't do that. I'll kind of like wake up, wash my face, put my primer and everything on and then eat breakfast and then start. So it'll be like on there for a couple hours sometimes. But yeah, definitely at least at minimum give yourself 10 to 15 minutes for that to soak in, because you do not want to just keep layering on products and not give it a moment to sink in your skin, because that will also have the reverse effect. But make sure your skin is prepped, primed, you have that nice hydration, because otherwise you're going to be moving dead skin, dry skin all around on your face. That is the #1 leading thing to having cakey foundation. Okay, next is to find the best foundation for you. I'm gonna give a list, okay? A list of options for you, and I'm gonna give you a little cheat sheet. Also, if you guys don't know, I work at Ulta and I've done freelance makeup for several years, so this is like something I'm passionate about, especially working at Ulta. It's like I love trying to pick out people's perfect foundation. So first, to pick out your perfect foundation, you need to understand if you want to sheer, a medium, or a full coverage foundation. Medium, sheer is going to be like a tinted moisturizer type of look. You're going to see if you have freckles, if you have acne, you're going to see it through that. So sheer is just very light. You're throwing it on real quick, almost like a tinted moisturizer. Medium is best if you have no idea what you want. This is going to be right in the middle. It's going to cover up some things, but you'll still see some like freckles or whatever through it. A lot of things are full to, I can't talk. Medium to full buildable coverage. That's a good starter place too. And then you have full coverage. This is covering everything. Okay, you're not seeing nothing through. Personally, I like a full coverage foundation or no foundation because I just have no in between. So pick out whatever like you think would work best for you, and then you need to pick the finish. So you can have a dewy finish. This is good for if you have dry skin. That means you're gonna have like, it's gonna look dewy. It's gonna look still like, it's not going to dry all the way down basically. So it's good for if you have more dry skin. Then you have a full matte foundation. That is going to be if you have oily skin. This is going to dry all the way down. It's going to help with oil. Yeah. And then you have a natural matte finish or like a satin matte finish. Those are kind of all in like one little category. That's kind of right in the middle. Again, if you have no idea what to do, I recommend a medium. I can't talk. I recommend a medium, satin, or natural matte finish basically. If you're like, I don't know where to start, that's where you start and then kind of decide from there. So I'm going to show you what I'm using today. This is my all-time favorite foundation. This is the Clinique Even Better Refresh. This is a full coverage dewy foundation. So again, because I said I like full coverage and then I like a dewy finish because I'm dry, this is what I like. I just kind of gave you the cheat sheet. You can go into any Ulta, any Sephora and be like, I'm looking for a medium coverage matte finish, whatever. They'll show you everything. You can even look it up online and find your favorite, but that's like the cheat sheet of how to find what is best for you. So yeah, we're going to start applying this. I do this in the most extra way possible. You do not have to apply it like this to get the same technique. So I use a foundation brush. I know this one looks disgusting. This is just your normal foundation brush, and this is how I initially apply it to my face. I think about that much. Sometimes I have to add more. Also, this is a little bit dark for me. How embarrassing, because it's just a wee bit dark. This is my light shade. Like, this is my winter shade, and it's still too dark for me. But yeah, so I just like paintbrush it on. I don't really care about how it's looking right now. I just want to make sure that this is evenly covering, like evenly distributed throughout my face, and that's why I do this versus just like dotting it on and then blending it out with a beauty blender. I go in with a brush first. I brush it down my neck. The top I'm wearing is kind of weird today. Normally I would brush it down to the end of my top, but I guess we're gonna stop right there. Yeah, evenly distribute this throughout your whole face, because I feel like if you're doing just like the little dots, like some people I know will put like, I've in the past put like dots here, and then blend it out from there. I feel like sometimes you don't get an even distribution. Is that a word? You don't evenly distribute where the product's going. But this way, it's already there wherever we need it. You can see it's just a little bit dark. I'm just so pale right now because, like I said, this is my light shade. Like, this is not even my summer shade. Oh well. Okay, so I do like that. And then we're going in with a beauty blender. You do not have to use a beauty blender brand, but I will say it is my favorite. The $20 for a sponge is kind of worth it. I actually opened a brand new one for today, so I like to wet it. Do I do this every day? No, because sometimes I'm lazy, but if you want the best finish for a foundation, you want to wet this bitch, okay? So yeah, and just damp. You're not gonna go like crazy, and you're just patting like this. So I've seen people like rub like this. No, we're bouncing. It's a beauty blender. You bounce her. And this is going to give us that nice airbrush finish, especially if you're using it damp. It's not going to take away the product. It's just going to make it so that the product is hydrated enough to blend where it needs to blend. And I'm going to be real upfront with you. Like, you can see that I have acne going on right here. No amount of makeup is going to make that smooth. There's no such. That does not mean that my foundation looks cakey because you can see my acne through it. Cakey is like unnecessary, like caking. I have a lot of people that will come in at my work and want their foundation to completely cover up every bit of acne, and your acne, you can see it like 3D without foundation. Adding foundation is not going to fix that. It will fix the color and that will help minimize the look of it, but you cannot just put on foundation and expect every inch of your skin to be smooth when it's not naturally smooth. So keep that in mind too. Okay, so after that, my foundation is nice, smoothed out everywhere. I go in with a bronzer. I am actually out of my favorite cream bronzer, so I'm going to use this one. It's a little bit light for me right now. I have no idea how you say this either. It's the Elaluz. I was using one and I ran out of it. This one's a little bit light. You can see. It's not like too light. It's just, it's a little too light. But yeah, you don't have to do this. I also put on a powder over top of this. It's just an extra step because I don't even know why I'm doing this. You can barely see it. Oh well. But yeah, so same thing. I'm taking the same exact beauty blender and just kind of blending it same way. The trick with a beauty blender is really to bounce it instead of rubbing it. So the concealer I've been loving, I use two different ones. I'm going to show you how I've just started doing my under eyes and I like it a lot more. So I use the Clinique. This is the Even Better all over concealer and eraser, whatever. This is like a full coverage concealer and I'm in the shade Flax. Oh, and for reference, the foundation I used is in Neutral by them. It's a little too dark, but that's okay. So anyway, I take this concealer first. This is like a very creamy, hydrating concealer, similar to like a NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer. Some on my chin. I use a lot of concealer. I already know, guys. Nobody has to tell me that. And I kind of contour, like carve out the sides of my nose. And then I started, I think I've said this in a video, I hope you could see me looking in this mirror. I started carving out my eyebrows just real quick with my concealer. So yeah, I'm just showing you guys this so you can see that I really do wear a lot of like face makeup and it doesn't have to look cakey just because you're wearing a lot of it. Okay, so that's kind of what I do with concealer. Then we're going to blend this out and I'll show you the second step of my concealer. And I blend this out the same way. The only difference is I use this bottom side for like foundation and bronzer, and then this top side is specifically, I kind of save that for concealer. And I kind of drag that up on my upper lip, down below my chin. Just anywhere you would want like highlighted basically is where I put this. Okay, so once that's blended out, I use a super light concealer. Honestly, if I could find one shade lighter than this, I probably would, like even white if you could find it, to give me that super bright under eye. I just started doing this and I love it, and it makes my like under eyes even look less cakey somehow. I love it. So I'm using the Pro Conceal. This is the LA Girl one, and this is in the shade Iris that they have. This is like a literally so close to a white, like very bright. And I just put this right here. And then you can kind of drag it down too, but I don't do too much. But yeah, this really brightens everything up. I'll put it a little bit on my chin, not too much, but kind of right now because I have acne, so I'm like, yeah. But you can see, she bright. Okay, so again, taking the same beauty blender, just kind of blending it out. Same way. And then you can see I kind of switch to the side when I'm doing this because it's like, we'll blend it in with the bronzer, if that makes sense. But yeah, you just, honestly, the key is to make sure everything is blended out super smooth before you put any, I can't talk. Before you put any powder on, make sure everything's blended out super smooth. Now we're gonna go in with powder. This is like where the most important thing. I do not put powder all over my face anymore. I am only putting powder where my concealer is, and I use 2 different powders. So first I am putting on my Maybelline Fit Me powder. This is in Fair Light, and I go in with a brush instead of a sponge now. This has changed everything for me. And I make sure I don't have a ton. We're not baking. And I'm just putting it on my chin and like under my eyes and on my eyes. That's literally it. Super a little bit. I don't set my whole face at all. Like, this is all I'm doing. And we just set it really good, but we're not baking. We're not having excess powder that we're wiping off at a later time. No. And I do a little bit on my forehead because I will get forehead lines. But that's literally it. And then I'll go in with some of this Makeup Revolution. This is supposed to be translucent, but it's honestly very light. So I use this right where I put the white, and I do the same thing. So just on these inner corners here. And that's it. That's all I do for powder. Like, we do not over powder anymore. You might have to do a little bit more if you are more oily, but honestly, if you're using a matte foundation, you should not have to. So I'm going to finish my eyes, and then I will come back and show you the rest. Okay, I just finished up the rest of my makeup because, to be honest, the rest of it has absolutely nothing to do with your foundation. I just did regular. You can do your bronzer, blush, highlight any way you want. It should all finish the same because you're just putting that little bit of powder on, and that is the biggest thing that I have changed, is just doing that tiny bit of powder instead of like baking and all that stuff. And I noticed such a big difference in the way my makeup lasts. Because you think it would like rub right off. No, like it actually works so much better. And you get rid of that cakey, like super powdery look. And then the last step is just setting spray. So yeah, really any setting spray. I only use this a little bit. I don't even need this every day, but sometimes I feel like having a little bit of extra something on. This is going to be the Tarte, the Double Duty Stay Spray. This is one of my favorites too. I like this one because it's very like a fine mist. Anything with a fine mist is what you want to look for. And I just do a tiny bit. I used to use a lot of setting spray. I now don't use that much at all, just kind of a little bit to... I used to use a lot of powder, and then I would do like setting spray to kind of like offset the powder, if that makes sense. But now I don't need to do that. So I'll put setting spray if I need a little bit more of a dewy look. But to be honest, since I use a dewy foundation and like little to no powder, I don't really need it that much. But I'll do it every once in a while. Or like a refresh throughout the day. But yeah, that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up. Please make sure you guys are subscribed. Go follow my TikTok, my Instagram, everything else, and leave me a comment. And yeah, I will see you guys next Thursday. Peace out.